Shall we quickly bring in Dr. Doyin Okupe, who's probably the last person recently amongst all of us to have seen the president? Because I guess, can we have Dr. Doyin Okupe, the newly appointed Senior Special Advisor to the President on Public Affairs? Dr. Okupe, can you tell us, what do you think will be the position of the President comparing and looking at the issue as it is now, that proposal of 5-year term compared to whatever number of years, which could be 6 or 7 years that he had proposed?
Well, thank you very much. Before I go on to say what I think the position of the President is, I have listened to my colleagues in your studio in Lagos discuss this issue, and quite unemotionally, and I'm very pleased about that. But I see it from a different perspective entirely, and it is better for us to look at things. Alero, you made a very interesting remark at the beginning, that how come a president says something and he was howled down, and at a retreat a professor says virtually the same thing. What President Jonathan, what the professor said was a single term, 5 years, and that the incumbent shall not be beneficiaries. And that is exactly almost 100% what President Jonathan said. He proposed 6 or 7 years, a single term, and that he that is proposing this will not be a beneficiary. One thing Nigerians must not overlook is that presently, and I'm not being sycophantic, presently Nigeria has a president in state or on seat that is perhaps the most knowledgeable and the most prepared for this position. This is not just a university graduate, it's a PhD holder, a teacher, a man who has been a deputy governor before. He's had an opportunity to watch government from a very close quarters. He later became a governor. He became a vice president. He had an opportunity to study the president. Now he became a president himself. I thought, these were the reasons, and he's a youthful person, very intelligent. I thought these were the reasons why Nigerians, in their drones and hundreds and millions, voted for him. When you vote for a man like that and you give him authority, we must listen to our leaders. There is a perplexing absurdity in the Nigerian polity, and it is created by the opposition. What Tony said, and he didn't finish, was that the politics of hatred, the politics of pulling him down. What Jonathan just did wrong, because it's a pity that today I'm speaking as President Jonathan's special assistant on public affairs. But those who watch your program know that my position on President Jonathan has been consistent. It is just a pity, that Nigerians refuse to see the consistency, the honesty, the simplicity, humility, and focusedness of purpose in this gentleman. Okay. He came into government, much, and he says, look, what Dr. I'm going to do is that I am going to ensure that no matter what happens, we will have a free election. It doesn't even matter if I lose. He did that. He said, virtually everything that Jonathan has promised, he has done. It is also coming from this background that he now says, look, from what I have seen, we are going through too much trauma. We're going through too much hostility and spending too much money to re-elect officers.
Dr. Okupe, we're going to have to focus on the issues. I understand your passion about Mr. President, and it's good that you have that, because that's part of the reason why you are his SSA.
No, but he did say something, yes. Even before it was SSA. Yes. He had always had that same passion and those same convictions.
Okay,
let's get that clear.
Okay, let's look at another aspect now, the issue of the state police. We have read in today's papers that northern governors are totally against the state police. We don't know what exactly their reasons are, but people are saying that there have been shouts about governors being the chief security officers in their states. And they have also complained that they are that only by name. They don't have any powers to actually act as chief security officers. And one would have thought that this clamor for state police would be their chance to actually grab hold of that and say, this will now give us the power to act as the chief security officers in our states. And yet here they are saying they don't want any of it.
I don't think anybody should be worried by what people contribute to the debate at this point in time. First, there are certain things that I think that we need to actually look at and understand. The first thing is that these issues that we're discussing is about Nigeria. We need to have an idea of how we are going to make Nigeria work and work for everybody. One thing we must all appreciate is that Nigeria cannot be more important than its citizens. Nigeria will only survive if it is able to provide a life and a future for its citizens. So as leaders, that should be our focus. We cannot continue to run the country as a unitary state where everything is determined and absolute on a totally even basis, because the country is not one in that sense. Nigeria is diverse. What will be the priorities in Oyo State may not be the priority in Yobe State. What may be the challenges facing River State may not be the immediate challenges facing Sokoto State. If in River State you want to industrialize, or in Lagos State you want to industrialize, your first priority is security for visitors and people who are not from your state. That may not be the first priority of Bauchi State, where they may be having a different set of challenges. So what we need to do is to run a system that gives each component part the flexibility to be able to pursue their own dreams. Mm-hmm. You know, that's how the federation will grow and survive. But if you want to create an unbendable, an unbreakable, an unshakable box, straight jacket, into which everybody will fit, is not going to work. So what we need to do is to put options on the table. Let us leave the option. If you need a state police and you think you can run one and you think it is important to you and you think that is where most of your resources should go to, you should have that option. Another state that is not interested in that at that point should also have the option of relying on the federal police. It's just as we are doing now. We say, okay, states have the opportunity to generate power. It's not everybody who is generating power. If you can put your resources in and you have the need and the compulsion to do it, you're free to do it. If you don't want to do it, you're free not to do it. But we can't just keep running the country as a unitary state. This is a federation, you know? So
the federation is not working for us, in a manner of speaking.
How you determine how successful a society is from the lives of the individuals in the society. If you are Mohammed in Bauchi, you're Peter in Bori, you are Tunde in Oshun, the success of Nigeria should be how those individuals, Tundes and Mohammeds and Harunas and Etuks, are able to be whatever they want to be, to achieve their happiness, to provide for their children. The same thing I want as a senator is what my driver wants. So we just have to understand that and begin to think in terms of how we can create a society that gives not everybody, but most of our population an opportunity to pursue their dreams and achieve it. If we don't have that kind of federation, then we are missing something. And presently, does this federation as presently constituted, does it meet that aspiration for the broad majority of our citizens? I leave you to answer that question.